Hey everybody, it's me Jill and welcome to Jill Informed. This is the recap of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Season 13, Episode 20, The Reunion Part 3. Well guys, this is it. This is the final installment of the Season 13 reunions, and as per usual, we are picking up exactly where we left off with Part 2. We saw Teddi on Watch What Happens Live claiming that Sutton keeps vodka in her purse 24/7, and apparently ruby red grapefruit juice. So she's prepared. Anyway, Kyle is claiming that Teddi does not do her dirty work for her. And Sutton said, well, you could have said, no, she doesn't, Teddi. And then Kyle's rebuttal to that is, well, you know what? There's a lot I could have said and I didn't. So, take the win. Sutton then says, you have been relentlessly mean to me, Kyle. And Kyle goes, where? And then Sutton said, in the immortal words of Denise Richards, watch the show. So yeah, we're basically caught up now. Andy is wondering, where do you two go from here? And Kyle said, well, I love Sutton. I do. And that's why it hurts. But it's not something that can't be fixed. And then Andy looks at Sutton and he goes, how about you? And she's like, we'll be fine. See, I'm getting all teary, but I miss her so much. And Kyle goes, me too. I miss talking to her. So Andy then has them hug it out. And they do. Kyle even, goes in for a second hug. And now we're all just sitting around waiting for Kathy Hilton to get mic'd up. Guys, am I missing something? Why is Kathy Hilton on the reunion? She wasn't on the show. She wasn't even a friend of on the show. I don't think she appeared. It would make more sense to have Kim on, right? Kim at least made several appearances. Kim could have possibly, decorated the entire set in Jungle Animals. That might have been something to talk about. But why Kathy Hilton? It feels odd. I don't know. Why not bring Rinna back for the reunion? I'm not sure. Anyway, so knowing from watching the previews that Sutton is going to have some kind of a medical issue during this reunion, I'm kind of noticing every time the camera is on Sutton. And right now, while they're waiting for Kathy, some of them are looking at their phones and stuff. Sutton is shaking her legs. She's complaining to Garcelle, is she so hot? Is it hot in here? She's so hot. And when she went to hug Kyle earlier, she did have a little bit of a struggle standing up. Now, if I didn't know she was going to have this medical issue later, I might have just attributed that to, when you're sitting for a long time and you first get up, you're a little unsteady on your feet, or possibly her high heels, or even the fact that her dress is really tight, around her knees and calves. She's got a longer dress, but it's very tight. Maybe that was, making her a little unsteady. Any of those things could have been true. But of course, knowing what happens in a little bit here, I'm just kind of watching everything that's going on with her like a hawk, And here comes Kathy Hilton onto the stage, and Sutton looks a little weird. She just looks like she's not feeling well. Anyway, Kathy's out on the stage, and she tells Andy that she's there to support Kyle and, see everyone again. It's nice to see all you girls again. And then Andy asks her, Kathy, have you watched the whole season? And she goes, oh, yeah, I've seen all the clips. Everyone's laughing, and he goes, oh, so you just watched the clips? And Kathy goes, yeah, well, look, I don't watch any of the shows, but I do Watch What Happens Live. I do like that because it goes by so quick. Really, everyone's cracking up. It's kind of typical Kathy. And then we get a Kathy montage. Well, it's a montage about Kathy because Kathy wasn't on this season. Some of the things in the montage are Kathy from the season before, but again, she didn't even appear once this season. So a lot of it is like Kyle saying that the ladies just want to be friends with Kathy because she has a lot of parties and she's in the know. She invites famous people and whatever. And then we come back to the stage and Kathy's already blotting her eyes with a tissue. No, she's laughing, and she said, I think it's hilarious. She heard when Erica said that Kathy Hilton can lock you out of Beverly Hills. So she's laughing at that. She had sent that clip to friends. She just got a real kick out of it. Andy asks Erica, who do you think is most afraid of Kathy in this group? Erica. It's just she is Beverly Hills, and she sets the standard. Listen, you don't want to run crossways with this one. And then Sutton goes, oh!
All right, well, what, are you okay? Are you okay?
And she falls onto Garcelle. Garcelle's like, are you all right? And now everyone's like, are you okay? What happened? What's going on? Garcelle's like, can we call somebody, please? So she stands up. I don't know why Sutton stands up, but she does. And Andy's got his arm around her. He's hanging on to her. I think Anna Marie was saying she needs to lie down. And she's like, I don't want to lay down. I don't want to lie down. So he's like, just sit down. Let's just get you to sit down. So she sits back down in her chair. Andy's like, you're shaking. And Garcelle said she was complaining about being hot earlier. Kathy.
A hot flash. Sutton, you're 49 years old. It's bound to happen.
Yeah, that was a pretty casual response to something that feels a little scary right now. So the paramedic is out there now, and he's like putting the blood pressure cuff on her and stuff. And he said, okay, you're shaking. Are you dizzy or nauseous? And Sutton's response is, no, I got a little scared. Kathy, why? Mind you, Kathy is saying this from across the room, like on the couch. She hasn't gotten up from her seat. Although I am also wondering why she said she got a little scared. Anyway, her blood pressure is high, her pulse is high. And Anna Marie says, well, we should call 911 to come and get her because she's going to have to get checked out anyway. No offense to Anna Marie. And honestly, I would want a nurse around if anything like that happened to me. But there's a paramedic right there. And Anna Marie is calling out the orders to call 911. So the paramedic, super calm, says to Sutton, I do think you should get checked out. I don't think it's necessary to call 911, though. We have transport here that can take you. And Sutton's like, thank you. So, yeah, I mean, you might think that Sutton's medical situation here is the shock of the evening. No. That would be the casual and completely unconcerned conversation that's going on right now between Erica and Kathy Hilton. Yeah. Everybody else is up on their feet, like kind of not hovering over Sutton, but, you know, giving the paramedic space, but like standing and watching and concerned. Except for Kathy Hilton, who's still sitting on the couch, scrolling on her phone, and Erica, who is sitting on the couch next to her. And then Erica turns to her and says,
How have you been?
Remember that compassion gene? She wasn't born with that, I don't think. Kathy Hilton, maybe she wasn't born with it either, because her response is,
Good. I love the holidays so much, and I felt like I didn't get to enjoy it enough.
Is your tree still up? Or you still have your stuff up?
I just took it down.
Oh, wow.
It's as though they're sitting on a couch at home watching an episode of Grey's Anatomy or something. I mean, there's no comprehension that they are sitting like 5 feet away from their friend who's having a medical emergency. Now they're talking about Sutton's neuropathy, which, you know, hey, at least they're talking about Sutton. So that's an improvement. We've moved off of Kathy's Christmas decorations. I mean, like, look at this picture, for example. Dorit, Kyle, Crystal, Anna Marie, Garcelle, and Andy are all, like, showing the concern that anyone would when somebody is in distress, right? Even a stranger. Like, can you imagine, like, being in a restaurant and let's say someone at the table next to you faints or something, and now the paramedics are there? Could you just continue with your meal and have a conversation with your companion without like pausing and just waiting to make sure this person's okay, or that, you know, they get taken by the paramedic, whatever, while that person's right next to you in your presence? And Sutton isn't even a stranger to them. I don't know. I don't care if you feel like, well, I can't do anything to help, so it's best if I stay out of the way. Show concern. I mean, you guys sitting there having your little side conversation, not a good look, ladies. Just how strange not to care at all. So anyway, I guess the plan now is Sutton's going to go to her trailer and lie down. They get her a pair of slippers to walk in, and Garcelle and Anna Marie are like on either side of her, and they're walking her to her trailer. And as they're walking away, Kathy Hilton says to Kyle, "I was about to go after her next. I think she knew it." Kyle, okay. Yeah, you're such a good friend, Kyle. Anyway, Kathy Hilton's on a roll. Now she turns to Erica and says, "It's a good way to get out of being here, huh?" The two of them start cackling. So Anna Marie comes back to the stage. Garcelle stays with Sutton in her trailer. And so we like resume the show now. And Andy asks Kathy and Kyle about their relationship. And they both say that they've only really gotten in like 3 big arguments. Kathy's like, "That will happen. We're sisters." Andy, "It's no secret that Mauricio starting the agency caused tension between your two families." Then we see a clip from 2011 when Mauricio tells Kyle that he was approached to start his own company. And then Andy says, "Mauricio even said in his book regarding Rick's company, quote, if they paid me what I deserved and showed me an inkling of professional love, I would have stayed. But they didn't see it that way." And all that was a quote from Mauricio's book. So Kathy says, well, when he left, he called on a Thursday and told Rick he was leaving on Friday. And Rick said, "Listen, your family, just know that opening your own business is really tough. But the door is always open for you here. Just don't poach my staff or agents." And Andy goes, "And did he?" Kathy, "A few." And that put Kyle and I and Andy goes, in a bad way. So Kyle doesn't want to talk about that stuff. She does not want to go back and rehash that business stuff. I really, given what's going on with her and Mauricio now, I don't blame her. Like, I wouldn't want to get into a thing, especially if I'm like in a good place with my sister. I don't want to rehash old stuff that my soon-to-be ex-husband did, But she does say that he had within Hilton Highland, which I guess is Rick Hilton's company, within Hilton Highland, he had the Umansky Group and his own agents. And so I guess he took those people, which were really worked under him anyway. And Kathy agreed that that was true. I don't know if he took anybody other than that, but we're not talking about that anymore. Now we cut back to Sutton's trailer. Garcelle's trying to feed her a banana. She's like had some food to eat, but she's experiencing more symptoms. I think that's what the paramedic said. Because she's having new symptoms, he wants her to go to the hospital and get checked out. I guess she said, "I'm just really sleepy now." And so anyway, that's the plan. Back on stage, Andy gets a text from the producers, I guess. And he's like, "Okay, so Sutton is okay, but they are going to be taking her to the hospital out of an abundance of caution. And Garcelle is going to go with her." And then Andy gets up and he's like looking behind their pillows and he goes, "So yeah, I just want to grab their cell phones. And I think we have Merce Cunningham's ashes here." Everyone's like, "What?" Yeah. How many ashes does she have of his? I thought Merce had been, scattered across Garcelle's back in Spain. Isn't that what happened to Merce? There's more? Are these the ones she collected off of the back of Garcelle's shirt? I don't know. Erica's like, oh no, Merce is back in the purse. Anyway, now we see Garcelle and Sutton heading out to the hospital. And that is unfortunately the last we see of them, making this final part of the reunion feel weird to me, to not have all the ladies there. I think Garcelle was really happy to go. Like, I'll go with you to the hospital, okay? Because, I mean, really, do any of these ladies like the reunions? Probably not. It's probably their least favorite part of filming. Okay, so back to Kyle and Kathy. They reunited at their niece's wedding, Kim's daughter, and there were like showers and stuff. There were other events surrounding the wedding that they were both at, and Kyle hosted something in Aspen, I think, for the wedding, and that's kind of where she and Kathy made up. Then they have a little bit of a disagreement about whose vibe is stronger and who's more sensitive. They both think the other person's vibe is stronger and that they are the more sensitive sister. But they agree that, you know, nothing's more important than them being back together again. Now we get into Kyle's marriage. We see a montage that was, hard to watch, a lot of it. They're in Paris putting the locks on that lover's bridge with their names on it. And, 27 years, 28 years, they've been together a long time. It's sad. And the end of a marriage that long is sad no matter what. So yeah, hard to watch and super long. This montage went on for quite a while. And it ended with Kyle in her confessional when she was telling the producers that there was something that happened that made her lose her trust. So we come back to the show and Andy says to her, was it something that Mo did that made you lose your trust? And she's like, I care about family first. And I really, really, really tried. And when I couldn't anymore, there were certain things that I put up with. And I couldn't anymore. Yeah, so I guess she kind of hit a breaking point. And then Andy pointed out that since the beginning of the show, like the season 1 of Beverly Hills, there have been rumors about Mo's infidelity. Then we get a flashback to 2013. It was one of the girls' trips and something about Brandy and Lisa Vanderpump and tabloids that had rumors of Mauricio having an affair in them that somehow ended up in a suitcase. We see Kyle asking Lisa if Brandy told her to pack those tabloids. And Lisa goes, no. Is she smiling? She was smiling. No. So anyway, Kyle admits that the tabloids made her feel insecure. And yes, they did cast some doubt as to whether they were true or not. Like she was starting to question that. Then Andy shifts gears to saying that, I'll tell you what, it was not on my bingo card whatsoever that Mauricio would do Dancing with the Stars. It seems so out of character, Kathy. Yeah, when I saw that, that's when I thought, there's no way in hell Kyle would have okayed that. Kyle, if our marriage was where it used to be, I would never have said yes. But I was like, okay. And Kathy goes, well, I mean, it's not like you would have been jealous, right? Kyle, oh, yes, I would. So I guess what she's saying is before they started having this trouble in their marriage, she would not have allowed him to do Dancing with the Stars because she wouldn't want him to get that close to the professional dancing partner he would have. Is that what she meant? I mean, that kind of makes me feel like their marriage was never very solid then. Is she saying she couldn't trust her husband with the dancer? Or just that, like, she doesn't like how sexy the dances are or whatever. Like Erica was saying, it's partners dancing. It's all sexual. Like, you know, you do the waltz and your hips are locked together. Yes, but also it's dancing. And if you trust your husband, he should be able to dance with somebody else. I don't know. Whatever. Kyle would never have allowed it before. But now I guess she's saying she didn't care if he had an affair with her anymore. She said, okay. And apparently he did have a relationship with the dancing partner. I don't watch Dancing with the Stars, but apparently he had dedicated a very suggestive dance to his wife, Kyle Richards. And somebody on Reddit said the intimacy of that dance and the dedication to Kyle were 100% an FU to Kyle, done specifically by Mauricio to get under her skin. I mean, that would imply that he hated her, because why would you be that cruel? You know? Anyway, then there were pictures of him and Emma Slater, who was his professional partner, holding hands after having dinner together and stuff like that. There were like paparazzi photos. So yeah, I guess he was dating her. So I don't know. Anyway, Andy asked her about those photos, and she said, I didn't like it. Dorit, what about you? Andy says. Why Dorit? Anyway. I didn't like it either, Andy. It felt like seeing PK holding another woman's hand. And Kyle said, yeah, I mean, it's weird because we're separated, but we're also living in the same house still. Oh my God. They're doing an Ariana Sandoval situation? I don't understand this. Can somebody explain it to me? Is it a California thing? Is it because housing prices are so wildly expensive? Or does it have to do with the legalities of a separation? Like, I was wondering if it's kind of like a thing where if you leave the house, you lose your right to it or something. So like both parties are like stubbornly staying in the house and living there so that they can say that they didn't like abandon the house or I don't know. I'm just guessing because I think it's weird. I know that if I was divorcing somebody, I wouldn't want to be in the same town with them anymore. I just would want to like be away and have nothing to do with them and hopefully not run into them anywhere like ever again, you know, let alone living in the same house with them. Or, you know, I just think it would be so painful too. Next, Kyle sasses a viewer. We get a viewer question that says something like, Kyle keeps dancing around the issue of why she and Mauricio are breaking up. What's the real reason for Kyle and Mauricio's split? Why won't she just spit it out? And Kyle says, because it's no one's f***ing business. That's why. Nobody says a word. That just hangs there. And also, wrong. It is our business. Because you get paid a lot of money to put your real life on TV, to have cameras follow you and air your life. You don't get paid because this is an acting job. You don't get paid because you're entertaining us some way, like you're singing for us or whatever. Like, you're just living your life. You walk in a room and have a conversation with your husband, and then you go to lunch with a friend, and then you have a party at your house. Like, you'd be doing those things anyway. You're just living your life, and you're getting paid for it because of the cameras all around you. So when you say the reason for your divorce is none of our business, you're wrong. You might not like sharing it with anybody. I wouldn't. But again, that's why I wouldn't be on a reality TV show. I don't want to bring the cameras into my personal space. But you have. In fact, you even had a conversation, such as it was, about your marriage with your children on camera. Look, you could argue that maybe they didn't sign up to have it 24/7, 7 days a week. Maybe, but I think it gets a little hypocritical when you decide that you should be able to pick and choose what we see. I don't think that Jen Shah wanted us to see the FBI pull up in front of Beauty Lab to take her away, but that's reality, and you don't get to pick. Anyway, like I say, there's a lot of silence. There's a lot of Kyle petting her little pieces of hair on the sides of her head. And Andy said, "Is anyone talking about moving out?" Another long pause. And she finally said, "Well, yeah, now there is." Andy, who? He is. Okay. So Mauricio, I guess, is working on finding another place to live. Is it that hard to say? Like, whatever. Yes, I do think it's sad that your marriage of 28 years is ending. I do. And there's a huge part of me that thinks that it should be private and nobody's business, other than the fact that you're on a reality TV show. I'm sorry. But it's getting a little annoying that we're ending the whole reunion with, I don't know, what's supposed to be the big story of the season, which is the demise of her marriage. I don't know. It's starting to annoy me. The coyness and the hedging and not quite answering. It's all starting to annoy me because this is supposed to be what? We've saved it for part 3 of the reunion. And this is when, we're supposed to get the real juicy stuff. And we're getting nothing from her. She struggles to answer even the simplest things. Like, yeah, Mauricio's trying to find another place and he'll be moving out. Okay, great. I don't even care that much which one of you moves out of the house. But even that question was like, there was going to be some big revelation. I don't know. Kathy again says she thinks it's been like 2 or 3 years coming, the ending of this marriage. I don't know if you remember, but when she was in her trailer, we saw her when she was getting her makeup on, and she kind of alluded to that then. Not alluded, she actually said it outright. Anyway, she says it again on camera here. And Kyle actually disputes that timeline. She does not think it's been 2 or 3 years. And then we move on to Morgan Wade. Again, don't get your hopes up. This was also supposed to be big, juicy. Let's save the Morgan Wade stuff for the very last part. Yeah. Kyle says that Morgan has never seen the show before, and she did not realize the attention that it gets. So it was a lot of scrutiny for her, and she was not comfortable with that. So Andy asks the group now if any of them thought that Kyle and Morgan Wade were together. Another long pause. Finally, Crystal says, I did. Yeah, I guess people had sent her stuff. She was having lunch with Kathy Hilton, and I guess they both got information about it or something. And Dorit also, she said, Instagram, there were a lot of pictures of the two of you. And I thought to myself, they look like girlfriends. Yeah, again, Dorit does her sleuthing on Instagram. She spends for a mother of 2 young kids, the time she has to scroll on Instagram kind of amazes me. So in addition to noticing no pictures of Mauricio, she noticed lots of pictures of Morgan Wade. Then we see a clip of one of the after shows where Garcelle and Sutton were talking about Kyle and Morgan. And I think Garcelle had said, I just find it sort of so intimate. And Sutton said, what was that? And she said that she went to her doctor's appointment with her. Like, for not knowing somebody that long, that just felt like kind of an intimate thing to do, to join them at their doctor's appointment. Now, of course, Garcelle and Sutton are not even there to defend what they said or to, talk about it. So, that also did help to make this a little lackluster, having those two gone. But anyway, we get a viewer question saying that they thought that Kyle had a big girl crush on Morgan, but they did not feel like it was reciprocated. That's kind of what I was thinking too. Now, the viewer goes on to say they think that Morgan was just friends with her for the clout and stuff. I kind of disagree with that. I suppose it's possible, but Morgan Wade also seems like the kind of girl who doesn't give a shit about shit. Kyle adamantly denies that. Actually, Kyle and Kathy deny that, saying that it's ridiculous because Morgan is a very critically acclaimed musician in her own right. And Kyle said she would much rather have her music thing than any kind of fame here with this. She would pick music over that. Yes, but you don't understand. This, the fame of this, puts more eyeballs on her music stuff. Like, I never heard of her before this show, and I listened to it, and I like her. I love her voice. I love the tenor of her voice, and I am not a country music person necessarily. Well, no, not at all. Not even a little. But I do like her songs. So it, like, put her on my radar, you know? Anyway, I just felt like I would have stopped it at, I think Kyle has a big girl crush on Morgan, and I don't think it's reciprocated, because that scene with them at the tattoo parlor, I just didn't get the feeling Morgan was that into Kyle. Kyle was giddy, and like, I just felt like she was totally crushing on Morgan. And Morgan, it felt like Morgan was tolerating Kyle, but maybe that's a little harsh. Anyway, then Crystal asked about the timing of the music video that Kyle did for Morgan. If you guys haven't seen it, I can't remember what the name of the song is, and I only saw part of it a long time ago, but Kyle like plays the next door neighbor of Morgan, and she's like in sexy lingerie, and Morgan kind of fantasizes about her as the neighbor, and then they like come close to kissing, and like I said, Kyle's in like, I don't know, a corset, and it's very sensuous and like a will they or won't they kind of a situation. Okay, so Crystal's asking about the timing of that, and Kyle said, well, they had already filmed it before anything came out about her and Mauricio's marriage. And she said, basically, Morgan had wanted to come and support me with the celebration of life thing for her friend Lorene, and she wanted to perform there. She was on tour, but she took time out to do this for Kyle, and then she said, but you have to do something for me. You have to be in my music video. So Kyle said, okay, not knowing anything about the creative direction it was going. She didn't know anything about it. She agreed to do it. And then when she got there and she saw how it was going to be and everything, she said to them, like, I've never even kissed a guy on camera, let alone a girl. So she was pretty nervous about it. But anyway, we see a little like sit down interview with the two of them. And basically they had decided to do this because it was like they were trolling the trolls. This stuff was already out, rumors of them as a couple. And so they decided to have a little fun with it, do this video. Everyone was speculating about them anyway. Kyle said, you know, let's just kind of give them something to talk about. But also she said it was completely filmed, finished, and everything before the stuff with Mauricio. And as far as the timing, which is what Crystal asked about in the first place, she said, I would never have done it after that. After that all came out, she would not have done the video like that. But also, you know, obviously, I was curious, or I wouldn't have done it at all. You know, I mean, like, she's hot, okay? So Andy goes, all right, well, $1 million question. Is there anything going on between you and Morgan? Kyle. In that way? Andy goes, yeah. Kyle. No. Andy, are you a couple? Kyle goes, no. What are you doing with that long of a pause? You know what I think now? I think they're not a couple. I don't think anything has gone on between the two of them. I think she wants people to think there is, and she's trying desperately to make it seem like, okay, well, I didn't lie. I said no. But that long pause You want to put doubt in people's minds, and now you know what? You did the opposite for me. I don't think there is. I think you got nothing. You got no storyline. Nothing exciting is happening. That's what I think. Andy said, could you see yourself with Morgan? Kyle replies with saying, I don't know, about 37 times. I don't know. 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 Yeah. She doesn't know. Andy goes, that's not a no. Yeah, don't. You're trying, Andy. You're trying too hard. Nothing exciting's going on. I don't believe it anymore. He's like, maybe she'll end up on the couch next year. Why? Are you going to make her a housewife? I doubt she'll accept. Why would she be on the couch? Oh, as a friend of or a spouse? I don't know. It's a weird ending now, guys, because Garcelle and Sutton aren't there. But Andy wants to go around the room and ask each of the remaining ladies what is something that they will take away from this season. You guys know what I'm taking away from the season. Nothing's going on in Kyle's life. Nothing. We start with Anna Marie. For me, it's most important to remember that what's most important is that I am a board-certified nurse anesthetist. And also happiness and health. Crystal, for me, it's that I shouldn't be afraid to speak up because my voice matters. Well, this gets a real eye roll from Dorit. And then Anna Marie kind of looks across at Dorit and smiles at her. So, yeah, there's that. Andy, Erica, I'm okay. Yeah, I'm proud that I showed up for myself. Oh, God. Really? That's your takeaway? I mean, yeah, that tracks, actually. She's proud of herself because she took care of herself. She stood up for herself. Everything in her world is about her. So what did I expect? Andy, Kathy, how about you? What? Kathy? Even the friends of usually have to leave the stage before the final thing. But not only does Kathy get to stay, but we get Kathy's takeaway from the season. Kathy didn't even watch the season. Kathy, what's your takeaway from the clips that you watched? This is so dumb. I'm sorry. But you know what? I'm going to tell you right now. Her response is better than Erica's and Anne Marie's put together. She says, I'm happy to be here with Kyle. I'm happy to see all the ladies. And I think it's wonderful that at the end of the day, you all really care about each other and have a sisterhood. You know, I mean, it was nice. At least she didn't just say that she was proud of herself for getting through all the clips. Okay, Dorit, how about you? Not to trust. Sorry, let me start again, Andy. Andy pretends to yawn. Dorit, when somebody is nice to me and makes me feel like we're friends, I believe them. And I think I have to be a little less naive. So Andy's like, you're talking about Garcelle, right? Dorit, yeah. Okay, Kyle, you get the final word. While I may have lost what I thought was my happily ever after, I am strong, and I will have my happily ever after no matter what. That is it. We don't even get a toast. We just, Andy's like, okay, obviously we wish Sutton well and, praying for her to get better. He said, well, that was a lot of optimism, ladies. What a great season. I'm Andy Cohen. Good night. So they're starting to stand up and everything. And Dorit goes, oh yeah, make sure you remind everyone who you are because nobody knows you. And Andy's like, it was on the prompter. Then we get a final card about Sutton. After a brief stint in the ER, Sutton is back home and making a full recovery with her dogs and Avi right by her side. Well, I have so many questions. First of all, what happened to her? Number one, we never found that out. And what scared her? She said that twice. I just got scared. By what? Like, Kathy Hilton and I want to know. Was it something somebody said that scared her? Or does she mean like she could feel her heart racing so she got scared? Or like, it was a weird, I don't know. It was weird to me just that she said, I just got scared. So yeah, I want to know what happened to her. And also, how long is a brief stint in the hospital? Was she in the hospital for several days? That feels like I really want to know what happened to her. Anyway, then the screen says, 2 weeks after the reunion, Kyle flew to Nashville to see Morgan in concert. Then we get this reality blurb headline that says, Kyle Richards sits front and center at Morgan Wade's concert as insider talks Morgan's alleged snub. Huh? Morgan snubbed Kyle? Kyle sat there front and center and what, Morgan ignored her? Or is this real, or is it just that she was performing on stage and did not, wave and wink and blow kisses at Kyle? You know what I mean? Like, what was the snub? I need more information. Now the screen says, Kyle and Mauricio are still living separate lives under the same roof, ... while he continues his search for a new home. Huh? Okay. Is that supposed to be news? Is that supposed to be shocking? Didn't Kyle just say that during the reunion? I'm not sure why we needed this final card like it was new info that came up. I don't know. Anyway, that was the end of this season. And, the end for me for a little while. I'm taking a break here, taking the summer off, so I'll be gone for a few months. Oh, before I go, though, I made a little music video for my husband's new song. It's really just like a lyrics video. So it's sort of imagery and then the lyrics come up. But that's fun, and it's on his channel, so I'm going to link it right up here in the cards. But yeah, I made a music video, guys. What can I say? I'm so talented. No. So yeah, during my time off, I'll have some family coming to visit. I said that before. I think my brother and his wife are coming. But yeah, during the summer, I will be putting out the rest of the Sister Wives season, when the time feels right to get back into that. Other than that, I'll just be working on other things. And like I said, maybe I'll pop in and talk to you guys. I really will miss you guys, but I need a break. And you've been like beyond my wildest dreams supportive of this. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. All right, that's it for me. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please consider doing so. And if you click on the bell icon, you'll be notified every time I post something new here on my channel, which might be a good idea to do right now because I don't know, when things are gonna come out. So I don't want you to miss anything. I'll be doing a lot of thinking while I'm gone too about the direction of the channel and things I wanna cover in the future. That's it for me. I love you guys, and I'll see you soon. Bye.